Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining us. Nick Chavez here, and as always, my law partner, Martin Valko. And
Everybody.
we are here to discuss and go over some of the changes. As you may have known already, we've been sending information out through Facebook, giving y'all alerts, developments, in this immigration law situation, this reform. That's everybody's going to be talking about reform this year, la reforma in Spanish. And so we're here to update you on a regular basis. And if you have any questions, if you have DACA, or if you want to know what this immigration reform or this discussion is about, please feel free to send us a comment. You could do it in English. Today's show will be primarily in English, but if you have a question in Spanish, si tienen alguna pregunta en español, aquí estamos para servirles. Usted puede poner su pregunta en la pantalla. We could talk to you about DACA and whatever, even your case. If you want to talk about your case, we're happy to give you some information and help you with that. But today, primarily, we're going to be talking about these new changes, and we're very happy about it. We're excited that we're going to see, hopefully this year, the outlook for this year is positive, and the policies of the past or under Trump compared to what's proposed is like night and day. On one side, you have the Trump policies, which were very restrictive. As we know, we had the travel bans, and we had restriction, not only on illegal immigration, right, and the border security, they beefed that up, but also with legal immigration situations with people who are trying to apply for a worker visa, for example, outside. So the difference is the outlook, or the philosophy, I should say, is rather different and certainly welcoming. It's going to help a lot of individuals who are here, and they estimate, and sometimes, I mean, I hear 11 million, Martin, sometimes, I don't know. So some people say it's more than 12 million people that are in.
So there was I think 12 million were back in 2007, and so they dropped it to 11 this year, which I would guesstimate it has to be. I mean, there was some attrition under the former president, but I think we're in the teens, maybe, I want to say 15, 18. Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, it's so whatever that number is, we have a lot of clients, and we know a lot of people who are in situations where they've been here for quite a long time. They've been here for over 15 years. They are established here. They pay their taxes. I met one person who was here for over 30 years, had 3 children. All of them, they were successful. One of them was a teacher. The other one was in the military. The other person, I forgot what they did, but it was no criminal record, very productive person, very modest, very humble. She didn't say much, but unfortunately, we couldn't help her, even though her children, who are now over 21, are U.S. citizens. And typically, well, generally, those individuals who are U.S. citizens and want to petition for their parents, they can. But in this situation, they couldn't, because there was this legal impediment that they had, this obstacle that a lot of people in that group of 12 million people, they encounter that, and they have that. And that's why we are seeing some solutions here where the majority of people actually support some kind of solution to this issue, that the immigration court system is broken, and you have a lot of individuals such as that lady who are here, and all they want to do is remain in the United States without the fear of being deported. So we'll talk about the Biden immigration plan, and again, if you have any questions, please feel free to drop them on the screen. We'll be happy to discuss that with you. But before I begin, I want to reintroduce Bernie, because everybody's doing the Bernie Sanders. And I did it last week in Spanish, but everybody's doing Bernie Sanders. And I couldn't figure out how to do this on my background, so I'm going to go ahead and just do here. Okay, so no, wait, this is Bernie right here. No, background. Sorry, Bernie. Hello, Chavez and Valko. It's my horrible Bernie Sanders impersonation. But Bernie would agree that we need immigration reform, and the plan under Biden is pretty ambitious. It's comprehensive. It covers all aspects of immigration. You have asylum, you have the court, the border security, the wall, and most importantly, I think for those who are living here, the estimated 11 or 12 million of individuals, a way or a pathway, as they say, to legal permanent residence or citizenship. So that is something that they cover. What other things are under this plan, Martin, that excite you?
Well, yeah, I'm really excited about what's to come. I mean, I'm excited about potential administrative action, and as you know, the balance in Congress and especially in Senate is very, very delicate, and so the ambition of the Biden plan is great. It's there, although the practical and what will happen in reality may be something different. And so what the president can do is go through administrative actions and perhaps take care of the parents of U.S. citizens. So what was known to be the DAPA back in the 2014, 2015, they got struck by the courts. Right. And so that's something, number one, that they can do from day one. I'm excited about a bipartisan effort to address the current situation of the DACA grantees or the dreamers. That there might be, I think yesterday, Senator Cornyn, or day before yesterday, at one of the discussions indicated that he would support it, and he's a Republican senator from Texas, that right. he would support permanent residence for DACA grantees. And so I think there could be enough support on the Republican side to get this passed. So not only administrative fix for the parents, but also for legislation for the dreamers, and that could be something that they can tackle right away. And then start looking at the comprehensive immigration reform. Getting to the essential workers. I mean, these are the folks that are getting us through this pandemic. There are the frontliners. They're fighting on the front lines, and so that's something that we should definitely, or the administration should propose, and we should support it.
Yeah, let me share some of the details of this plan, and just to remind everyone, this is just a plan. It's not the law. What happens is that presidents, they have an agenda and they present what they desire to become law, and it still has to go through a process, and we could talk a little bit about that later. But some of the details here is, well, the individuals that have been here that you consider undocumented, it gives them a way or a pathway, they use that term, to become temporary residents. So we see temporary residence is not a new term. We see that in some of the older laws. And in some contexts, we see that now with what's called conditional permanent residence. But I don't want to confuse anyone. It's basically, look, you're not a full permanent resident. You're not here permanently yet. It's a probation period, I guess. And they would be eligible to apply and have this temporary resident status for 5 years, have the ability to work and travel and live here in the United States without fear of deportation. And after those 5 years, and correct me if I'm wrong, they could then apply for their permanent residence. So they transfer from temporary to permanent. That's something very similar back in the amnesty, the bill or the law that was signed by Ronald Reagan, right? And then after that, with 3 years of permanent residences, then apply for naturalization. As you mentioned, Martin, there's also a fast track here for those who have DACA and those who have TPS, right? We hear this term TPS, temporary protected status, for individuals that come from countries where it's a disaster zone. And we're talking about Hondurans, El Salvadorans, those who had TPS. There's been a lot of litigation last year about removing TPS. And unfortunately, Well, they were on track to remove it in January, this past January, but they went ahead and extended it. So we might see some legislation for those individuals with TPS. The other thing is this removal of the 3 or 10 year bar. And let me explain what that means really quickly. Again, don't want to confuse anyone. And a lot of our clients are here. They have a family member, let's just say a son or daughter over 21, U.S. citizen. They want to petition. They want to apply for their green card. They want to do it here, right? This is most convenient to do it here. They don't have to leave. But in most cases, they can't because they have entered illegally. That's one of the requirements. There are some exceptions. So in those situations, that person has to leave the country. But the law says that if you've been in the United States for over 1 year without any status, that time counts against you. And so the moment you leave the country, it's as if you turn back, and it's as if this wall comes up, and it's a 10-year bar. It's for unlawful presence. So they're proposing to remove that, and not only that, but also potentially, I don't know if you heard this, Martin, but we have a lot of individuals who have preference, who are here on preference categories, or they've been waiting for so much time, like over 10, 15 years when they're petitioned by a family member. So yeah, we hope that they cut down on those processing times. And boy, would we like to see some of them have a work permit, right? Because we see that a lot. We see people who have been petitioned by a family member since 1998, 2000. It takes a long time. So what do we do with those individuals? Currently, there's no work permit, but we would definitely love to see them to have some kind of work status in the meantime.
Just to give an idea to the viewers, if I'm a U.S. citizen, if you're a U.S. citizen, you want to sponsor your sibling, a brother or sister from Mexico, for example, the current wait time to apply for either the green card if the person is in status in the U.S. or for immigrant visa if the person is abroad is currently about 21 years or
Ridiculous.
22 and something if it's from Mexico. So there are certain countries that are oversubscribed, meaning that there is just a long wait time in front of them, long line. And if let's just say I'm originally from Slovakia, so if I wanted to sponsor my siblings, the wait time currently is 14 years and 5 months. So that's just to kind of give people idea of what people have to wait for in order to get sponsored. So there are different preference categories, but Mexico or Philippines, Mexico is probably the longest, 22 and a half years to be able to immigrate to the U.S.
Yeah. By the way, that flag right behind Martin is the flag of Slovakia. He's the honorary consul here in Texas, right?
That's it. I've served as the honorary consul of Slovakia, of the Slovak Republic, in Texas for 10 years. And it's something similar to a regular consulate. So Consulate General in Dallas for Mexico, for example, issues passports and visas and verifies documents. And so I'm an honorary consul, so I'm not a professional diplomat, but I'm an extension of the embassy here in Texas. And I'm able to verify documents, something similar to apostille, like a notary public for Slovak Republic. I'm able to issue temporary travel documents and other things. So similar consular duties. So yes.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's really cool. So if I'm ever running from the police, I am going to request sanctuary and go to your office, lock myself up. They can't catch me. That's how it goes. I guess.
Yeah. Let's discuss it if that happens, or if and when happens.
Great. Well, before we move on to executive orders, I just want to let everyone know, again, it's worth saying it and repeating it because this is, when they announce a plan, it's not a law. It takes time for it to become a law. And the details in the plan, what President Biden wants to see, doesn't necessarily pan out at the end. It could be completely different. So a plan is laid out in Congress. Congress can come up with their own plans, bills. It's passed through the House of Representatives and to the Senate. I feel like that school of that cartoon. I'm drawing a blank here, but yes, it passes through both chambers, Congress, and then it's signed by the president, and then it becomes law. And there's like going to be I imagine there's going to be a waiting time to implement that, because it's going to be a monster to administer. And also the other thing that we've seen, unfortunately, scams. You're going to see estafas, as they say in Spanish, that people are going to be saying, hey, look, hey, attorneys, unfortunately, Marno, we see, I'm not going to say anything beyond this, beyond what I'm saying, or giving any names, I should say. But I used to be a member of the Unauthorized Practice of the Law Committee for over 15 years, and we would see this when there was a change in the law for the better. You would see notarios, you would see some attorneys who would say, get in line, pay us now, so that way we can give you, you're going to lose this opportunity if you don't come with us. So you got to watch out for that. If you're unsure, get a second opinion. Make sure it's from an immigration lawyer or a accredited representative if you're comfortable with that. So moving on to executive orders. The executive orders we saw some yesterday, and again, they're not laws. And there was some, the ones that President Biden signed yesterday, they were good. There's kind of an announcement of what they're going to do, but there's nothing that they're going to implement or it's going to have an immediate effect right now. Could you tell us a little bit about those executive orders, Martin?
Yeah, so initially what we saw, I think on day one or very quickly after President Biden took office was canceling a couple of the bans, the travel bans that were put in place by the previous president back in 2017. So yesterday we had delayed orders that were issued, and they were signed yesterday, and basically it was a commitment to, or actually it was creating a task force for reunification of families that were separated back in 2018, I believe, 2019, during the time when families were coming to the border and seeking asylum. And so at one point they were separated. And so there's still over 400 or 500 children, I believe, there are still have not been reunified with their parents. And so one of the orders basically is creating an executive task force that will be working on reunification of those children. The other one basically was addressing, I think, everything in general, that we're going to address certain things. They will be looking into the immigration changes that were done by the previous president in terms of the public charge, the Remain in Mexico policy. I've seen some criticism, even from colleagues and some nonprofits in the last couple of days. But I try to look at the bright side of it. And
yeah,
as you know, in the last 4 years, there's just so many little things done to the immigration system that it's so difficult to undo it in just the one big swipe. And I think, we gotta, or the administration has to take it step by step, and they have to do it methodically, and they have to do it well, right? I mean, if administratively they want to bring back, let's just say, the deferred action for parents, it was undone. So whatever was proposed and passed and assigned into, it was an executive action by the President Obama, it was stopped and so to speak, undone by the courts, and it was stopped and relegated to the lower court, and so it didn't go anywhere. And so I think the current administration, they want to make sure that they do not make some of the missteps, and it's going to be done so it can be easily undone. And so they'll go through rulemaking, they will go through the Administrative Procedures Act, and they will take all the steps. And so I don't think we need to be, or we should be, that critical. I think it's coming. They just need to take their time and address it so
Sure.
they can address it properly.
Yeah, we could understand that some of the skepticism that our colleagues have shared, or even our clients, because they in the past they were waiting for la reforma under Obama. It never came. But you mentioned the public charge rule. This is a creation of President Trump, and I'm not going to do my impersonation. I need to work on it before I deliver it. But the public charge rule basically makes it difficult for individuals who have some financial issues, problems, or even health problems to obtain a green card. So they're announcing, where they announced through this executive order, that they're going to evaluate it, which is great. Yeah. And then naturalization. Yeah, I mean, look, we got a lot of law-abiding residents that want to become citizens. They've been here for many, many years, and they're just waiting. They put in their application, and some of them have been waiting for, and we're talking about pre-COVID. So the situation is worse now with COVID. So hopefully they'll see some solutions here. Let's see. I think we do. Oh, okay. Well, we got a comment here, and you know what? I am going to put it on the screen because this is so true. Everyone, look at that. Look at that. El mejor abogado Chavez. Gracias, Sophie. Gracias. All right, that wasn't a question, but well, it could have been. Who's the best attorney? Well, I'm just kidding. All right. Well, we have some questions that came in when we announced it. Some of our clients express it through email, others through the other videos that we've done, and so we collect them. And we do have some questions here. Here is we talked about this. How soon can we see immigration reform? Is this something that they can apply for now or get in line? What do you think, Martin? I mean, we talked. I'm sorry.
Well, I mean, there is a proposal out there, right? Yeah. But people just need to realize that's what is planned. This is what they would like to do, and it's like in negotiation. The president's party is Democrat Party, and so they're going to be negotiating with the Republican Party, and so it's asking and proposing many things, and it's just going to be a negotiation. So, but to answer the question, no, it's not the time to get in line. And you said it before, and a lot of notarios already, notaries are saying that. What you should do is just kind of sit back and just kind of watch to see what's going to develop. Get in touch, follow, whether it's us or other law firms on social media. If you have the app Law Pilot Guardian, you could follow that, and we would notify you through push notifications of any updates, and you'll know, because it's going to come from us. It's going to come from a verified source, as opposed to what you hear from friends or family. And so it's certainly not time right now to get in line. There's no line to get into. It's good to just be watching it and be ready if anything happens.
Right. And we have another comment here, and I also agree with this full-heartedly. Yes, and Martin is also good. And that's what I meant to say. But
Tony also? Okay, all right.
And then there's another comment here, and I agree.
There must be a conflict, but I love you, sweetheart. Yeah.
Yes. Well, I love you too. I love you too, Martin. Or are you talking about Martina, your wife?
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Well, So we get some of the questions here, and let's see here. What other question do we have? We have under the Biden plan, if we have DACA, will we be allowed to apply for citizenship right away? When I hear pathway to citizenship, I think that's great. I love it. But as lawyers, we're nerds, and so we're gonna dissect it. And it's not really pathway to citizenship, although that's the desire. That's what we ultimately want to get. But immigration is about steps. So first, you have your current status, whether it be no status or DACA or something else. And then you apply for lawful permanent residence. Now, they proposed a temporary residence, so there could be multiple steps. But here, permanent residence, and generally you have to wait maybe 3 years in some cases, but most cases 5 years having lawful permanent residence, and then applying for citizenship. So it's kind of like this, but I get it, pathway to citizenship. So yeah, it's unfortunately, it's not citizenship, but it's they proposed under the Biden plan to give you those who have DACA, a fast track. Everyone else is supposed to do it in these steps, if that makes sense. But again, we don't know until the final product is out, the final law. When the law is signed, when you see Biden do this and share his pens and everything with everyone else, we'll know exactly what the process is and what the requirements are and what you're getting.
Not the Sharpies?
Not the Sharp. Oh, that's a good thing. Yeah, we're not getting no more Sharpies. No more Sharpies. Sharpies. Oh goodness. All right. So the other question that we received here is, well, this person has DACA. I have DACA right now, and it will be expiring this summer. And they want to know, should I renew it or should I just wait for the new law? What do you think, Martin?
Yeah, so you definitely renew it. At this point, DACA will be valid, a new DACA for 2 years. And so, if it's within the last 5 months prior to the expiration, go ahead and renew it. Any legislative change will take time. We're talking 6+ months on average. It could be longer. There's going to be a lot of negotiations. You have 2 chambers in the Congress, House and the Senate. And so there's going to be lots of back and forth. You definitely want to renew DACA so you have it. One thing with DACA is I want to point out, we get a lot of calls from clients and our prospective clients where DACAs are working lawfully. They are here in an authorized stay. They have a work permit. It is expiring. They apply for renewal, and they continue to work. And then something happens, and renewal doesn't come in on time. Right. Typically, that's what the Immigration Service tells you. Do it within 5 months of expiration. So let's just say, you do it within 2 or 3, and it continues to be processed. DACAs do not get automatic extension of the work permit. And so I just read something today on social media where somebody got laid off. They just got sent home. And so you don't want to get into that situation where you have a job, you work for an employer that complies with the federal regulations, because they will watch the expiration very closely. And the HR people will call you in and say, you know what, you expire in 2 weeks. Bring us the renewal. And I mean, I don't know if there's a way to do that, but right now there are some classifications that when they have the work permits being extended, they can go ahead and continue to work. Yeah. But DACAs don't, and so you don't want to risk it. You don't want to, be in a good position, provide for your family, and all of a sudden you get a call from HR, and you said, well, but it's pending. Look, it's pending, and the HR will tell you, well, I'm sorry, but you're still not eligible, so you're gonna get laid off. You don't want to do that, so you definitely want to renew your DACA.
Yeah, and I think part of it is the confusion, because we hear in other situations just having, or maybe I'm wrong. I don't practice what you're practicing, Martin, which is the employment side of it. But if there is an application pending to renew your work authorization, that should be enough for your HR to say, that's enough, but not for DACA.
Regulatory, yes. There are certain work permits that it extends to those. There are certain classifications, but for DACA, for some reason, it wasn't extended to that. So DACAs, sometimes the extensions fall through the cracks, and so that's why we tell people, if it's within five months of expiration, go ahead and do that. Send it in, because you don't want to. There will be a couple of cases that will kind of slip past the 5 months, but most of them will get adjudicated. Some within 30 days, some within. But just have that certainty, because you potentially could lose your job and get laid off and replaced. Who knows? And so you don't want to take the risk. I don't think it's worth it. Right.
That's good information. And moving on to the next question that we received over the week. Let's see here. And again, if you all have any questions, just go ahead and write it down. We're here to answer any question you might have. Even after the show, if you want to just send a comment or a message, we'll get it and we'll respond and we'll see if we can help you. So let's see here. What's happening with DACA right now? I did not apply before because I was too young. Can I still apply now? Yeah, DACA right now is available. I know that it was like a roller coaster last year because of all the court litigation that's going on. That's still happening. But for the time being, DACA is functional. It's operating. It's full steam ahead. And one of the executive orders, Biden said that's their intention, is to keep it intact. So now there's some litigation, as I mentioned. One case in the Southern District. You might have already heard that they had a hearing in December in front of one of the most conservative judges, Judge Hainan, and he's still reviewing a case. So we're monitoring that carefully because if he issues a decision, a lot of people think that it could be a bad decision. But what does that mean? It could be something that, God forbid it, but it could be something that just applies to new people or certain aspects of it, or it could be something else. And you never know. Maybe the spirit of goodwill, comes to him in the middle of the night, and then he just wakes up and says, you know what, today I'm going to go ahead and say it's okay for DACA. Who knows? But the thing is that if you're eligible, if you missed out because you were underage, you have to be at least age 15 to apply. There's very few exceptions. Then if you're eligible, you should at least speak with a lawyer to talk about your case and see if it's a good time to file it. Because as Martin said, work authorization, work permit, you're going to have that driver's license, you're going to have the ability to work, you're going to be strutting, you're going to go to college, things will open up. And if you are afraid because maybe you had a ticket or if you were arrested, that happens, we're here to help. We can tell you, yeah, it's a good, you're good to go. Or we can say, no, we're here to protect your interests. Let's see, anything to add there, Martin?
No, I second what you say. I mean,
yeah.
According to, what was her name? You are the best attorney in the.
Oh, that was Sophie. I paid her to do that. She's a paid actress. Okay. All right. So so the next question that we received, and this question we received it on our previous, I guess on our announcement for this, and I'm sorry if I don't have your name, but it's a question. It happens to a lot of people. What steps do I need to take if you lose your DACA card? What do you need to do? And they say besides filing an I-765, but what do you need to do in general, and in situations, what should you do after you file your renewal? Martin,
Well, I mean, first of all, if you lose it, make sure that you report that you report it to police that you've lost something like this, because it is a benefit that immigration gives to people, so they want to track it. But generally speaking, you apply for the 765, you want to submit the notice of approval of the DACA. That's generally what is done, along with the filing fee.
Yeah, and as just if you lose something, this is common sense. If you lose something like an identity, you got to be tracking it too. So if this happens to anyone who loses their Social Security or driver's license, there's places that you can go and there's there's identity theft services, or you can check your credit. Check your credit regularly to see if there's something off, and that would be my recommendation. Also, that we had a case where a person had lost it, but it was already like this. They were 6 months away from the card sale had like 6 months away, because if you renew it, if you ask for your renewal, they're not going to give you the full 2 years. They're just going to give you up to that point where it was supposed to expire originally. So it might, in some cases, it just depends. If your card's going to expire within the next, I don't know, 6 months or so, it might be just worth reapplying for your new DACA and getting a new card. But each case is different. I understand some people have to work and their employers on them on getting some proof. We have a question here that this question was asked repeatedly, and it's let's see here about the so if you have a case that's pending right now, and all this talk about new laws that could open up the opportunity for you to legalize here. I tell my clients, and I tell people, it depends on your situation. In some situations, we're on track to get residence under the current law, and we're sticking with that because there's minimal risk in these situations that I'm talking to after we have carefully reviewed their facts. In other cases where we've seen where it might be not so straightforward when we have to make an argument for the person's eligibility, criminal records, or has a history with deportation, for example, things that might put the person at risk of being denied. Well, in those situations, I think it's worth evaluating and see which one's better. Maybe perhaps hold off and wait. But I would say speak to your attorney. Very important that you speak to your attorney and have that discussion and see if it's worth it. Like I said, in some cases, we have cases where a person doesn't have to file a waiver because of his current status, and it might be faster. The other thing too is that they're proposing the temporary residence for those who are here. So if there's an opportunity to obtain your residence, but the permanent residence, it might be a better option to stick with the original plan, but it just depends on your facts. So again, I would recommend that you speak with your attorney. Anything to add there, Martin?
No, I think you covered it. It's pretty comprehensive.
And the last question here that we got is it's about the deportation, and there was a pause in deportation, right, Martin? There's they were proposing to for how many days was it? 100 days?
So initially it was 100 days, and this pause was enjoined by courts here in I believe it was in Victoria, in Southern District of Texas, which basically stopped the pause. So the deportations, as they were on before the new president took office, are continuing. There's again lots of reports where people thought that they wouldn't get removed from the U.S. Got removed from the U.S. And so as it is right now, that original 100-day pause was suspended by a court in Texas, and that applies nationwide. So ICE is removing people as usual, and we'll see if through litigation it will get reinstated. So in other words, that pause will get reinstated. But it's interesting. As you mentioned, the family-based cases, everything is just basically case by case, and we'll see what new directives will the offices of the chief counsel and individual jurisdiction will get from the ICE headquarters in DC. And so there's still enough prosecutorial discretion. It's still on the table. I mean, not as it was before under President Obama, but given the fact that there's new sheriff in town, so to speak, even though with the suspension of that of the or the suspension of the pause.
Yeah.
There it's still up to the local offices and enforcement and removal directors in terms of what they want to do. But I think it's heading in the right direction.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, under the whole thing under Trump, right, was let's deport everyone. It's just whoever they encounter, they're going to put in proceedings. And before that, there was this system or policy in place where they prioritized based on their resources. So they were going to go and process or put into proceedings those who were at the highest of risk or highest priority, I should say, and those were people who committed serious crimes and done some major things. And then they went to priority 2, right? And then priority, oh, maybe I'm getting that wrong, but when it's like a totem pole, right? So at the lowest priority, they weren't putting them in proceedings, or you can just can't, if you were in proceedings, you just can cancel out of those. And that's, we hope that there's a return of that. So we have clients right now who are in proceedings, and they have their court date set in the year 2024 or something ridiculous like that. And they could, if something opens up and they're eligible to apply for a residence, for example, maybe a child turns 21, U.S. citizen, then yeah, we would like a chance to see if we could file a motion to reopen. That's what they call, I'm sorry, a motion to terminate, and then see if we could apply for the residence directly with the agency because the person is a low priority, for example.
Yeah, but in spite of this court holding from South Texas, we've had a couple of our clients, I believe, on Monday when it was where the officers, the ICE officers, were indicated to the family and to us that they will release an individual who was otherwise being held. So I think the positive change is coming. We just have to wait to see for the litigation to flush out.
Yeah. Oh, well, y'all, it's been fun. We're going to be doing this on a regular basis. So if you have your questions, if you want to send your questions to us through Facebook, the message through Messenger, you can, or if you want to set up a consultation with us, we're happy to help you. You could do so online. You could book online, and Martin and I, or one of our awesome attorneys can speak with you about your case. And we're very hopeful. As always, we're always giving y'all alerts through Facebook, where we're sending you information. Through our app, you can get information, right? You could download our app, and do you want to speak on that, Mark?
Yeah, definitely. So this is something that it's a platform in the app that we developed with Nick a couple of years ago, and it's being used widely nationwide. But if you would like to be connected directly to us, all you got to do is text the word Guardian to the number on top of the screen, 47177. You'll register. It will take you a few seconds. You'll download the app, and you'll be connected to us. So any news, and there's going to be a lot of items, a lot of news coming down. You'll get it directly from us through push notification to your phone. And at that point, if you want to schedule an appointment with us, you'll just go to the upper left menu and be able to schedule a consultation with us directly. And the biggest plus and the biggest feature on this app is the emergency button, this big yellow dot in the middle of the screen. So whoever has it and they find themselves in any kind of emergency situation, whether it's a police stop or ICE detention or ICE visit, when you tap the panic button, we get notified and we are able to find you on the map through GPS locator. And we're able to actually listen into the conversation that you are having with law enforcement. So we'll be able to come to your rescue, so to speak, very quickly in real time. It's a great app, and it has other features, right? So you know what your rights are and other advisories. This is something that we're pretty proud of, and we developed it under the previous president when there were a lot of enforcement, and so folks love the idea having a team 24/7, watching their back, so to speak. And so we do that. So anyways, it's a great app. So to stay abreast of the new information, just text the word Guardian to 47177, and everything else will be taken care of.
All right. Well, that's great. Again, if you all have any questions, please feel free to send us a comment. Subscribe to us, hit like, share this information, share this very important information to your friends and family, and we're here to help. And this is the last time I'm bringing Bernie with me. It's the last time. So that's it. No more. I guess it's a fad, right? So it's not, people are not going to be doing that anymore. So
I know what to get you. I'm going to get you the
little
the mittens for your birthday.
Thank you, Martin. Thank you, Martin. I think that was good.
No?
Okay. Okay. All right. Bye-bye, folks.
All right. Take care. Bye-bye.